Welcome to the world of the Sigma male. Unlike typical alpha types, Sigmas master the art of mystery. Studies show that women are naturally drawn to men who exhibit independence, unpredictability, and emotional control, core traits of the Sigma archetype. They're lone wolves, walking their own path without craving validation. That very self-sufficiency creates an irresistible tension, sparking curiosity and emotional intrigue. Sigma males don't just attract, they linger in the mind. Their vibe is like stepping into an unexplored cave, thrilling, a little dangerous, yet impossibly magnetic. Today, Sigmas, we're diving deep into the 11 creepiest things about Sigma males that turn women on. And once you recognize these powers, you'll realize being a Sigma isn't just a lifestyle. It's an unshakable force that women can't fight. Get ready, Sigmas. Let's dive in. Point 1, the haunted mystery. His silent screams. Sigmas don't overshare, and that's not a flaw, it's a hidden strength. While most men are quick to reveal their life stories within the first few conversations, Sigma males operate differently. Their silence isn't awkward or shy, it's deliberate. When a Sigma listens more than he speaks, it creates a powerful energy in the room. His quiet nature feels heavy, intense, and often unforgettable. For women, this silence can be unsettling. It can even come across as mysterious or slightly intimidating. Why? Because human nature hates uncertainty. When a man doesn't immediately lay all his cards on the table, it forces others, especially women, to wonder, to imagine. And psychology tells us that imagination is far more powerful than information. In fact, studies have shown that mystery can significantly increase attraction because the mind fills in the blanks with fascination and fantasy. Sigma males instinctively understand that too many words can destroy curiosity. Mystery isn't just an accidental byproduct of their behavior, it's one of their greatest assets. In a world where oversharing is common, the Sigma's ability to stay composed, reserved, and enigmatic sets him apart. Remember this, silence is not your weakness, Sigmas, it's your superpower. The less you explain, the more people lean in. The less you share, the more valuable you seem. And in a world that constantly craves attention, being a mystery is the ultimate magnet. Point 2, the laser gaze, eyes that undress souls. Ever been stared at by a Sigma male? It's not a casual glance, it's a deep, piercing look that seems to read your secrets, your fears, your dreams, all in one blink. This isn't just imagination. Psychological studies show that prolonged eye contact can trigger a phenomenon known as gaze-induced arousal, where the brain releases dopamine and adrenaline. In other words, strong eye contact can literally make someone feel a rush of emotion, excitement, and even vulnerability. For Sigma males, this intense gaze isn't necessarily intentional. It's just how they are wired. Sigmas observe deeply. They don't skim the surface, they analyze. They read body language, micro-expressions, and energy without saying a word. When a Sigma locks eyes with someone, it's as if he's pulling back the layers of who they pretend to be and seeing who they really are. That unsettling eye contact sends chills down a woman's spine, and ironically, it pulls her closer. It's like she's already emotionally exposed around him and she doesn't even know why. There's a magnetic vulnerability that makes her curious, intrigued, and even addicted. In a world where most people avoid true emotional exposure, a Sigma male's gaze acts like a mirror, forcing others to confront parts of themselves they usually hide. Bro, if your eyes had a warning label, it would say, "Caution, may cause spontaneous soul exposure," and trust me, most people won't even realize it's happening until it's too late. Point 3, his ghost-like presence, always there yet out of reach. He's in the room, but somehow not of the room. Women notice the Sigma's presence, the quiet intensity in the air, but they can't quite pin him down. It's unsettling in a way, almost like chasing a shadow. And nothing drives human curiosity crazier than something they can't capture. Psychologically, this taps into a phenomenon called the Zeigarnik effect, where the mind fixates on unfinished or mysterious experiences. When something is left unresolved, like understanding the Sigma's true nature, people become obsessed with solving the puzzle. A Sigma's silence, his controlled body language, and his selective eye contact, they all fuel that intrigue. Unlike extroverts who thrive on constant engagement, the Sigma male operates on a different frequency. He's detached from the social games most people play, and that detachment creates a powerful magnetic pull. It's not arrogance, it's self-possession. Sigmas don't seek attention, and ironically, that makes them even more fascinating. In an era where oversharing is the norm, a Sigma's mystery is a breath of fresh air. He doesn't reveal his every thought or emotion. And because of that, women, and even men, are drawn in, trying to unravel the enigma. Sigmas embrace being elusive. You're not meant to be an open book. You're a mysterious novel no one can put down. And the best part, the fewer pages you offer, the more people will crave the whole story. Point 4. The lone wolf effect. Independence that terrifies and attracts. Sigma males are often described as the lone wolves of the social hierarchy, and for good reason. They don't seek validation, connection, or approval from anyone, traits that are both rare and intriguing in today's society. In a world where most people rely on others for reassurance and belonging, the Sigma male's ability to move through life independently is nothing short of captivating. Women in particular experience two strong emotions when encountering a Sigma male. The first is fear. The idea that he doesn't need anyone, especially her, can be unsettling. In a culture that often defines relationships by interdependence, this level of autonomy can feel intimidating. The fear of being unnecessary or irrelevant to someone who is so self-sufficient is real. But the second emotion is fascination. Women are naturally drawn to what they don't fully understand, and the Sigma male's independence presents a mystery that many feel compelled to unravel. How does he manage to remain detached yet so confident? How can someone function so well without the need for constant external affirmation? This allure of becoming the exception to his independence becomes an enticing challenge. Sigma males are not just independent, they are intriguingly aloof. This paradoxical combination of self-reliance and emotional distance makes them magnetic, creating a presence that is both intimidating and irresistible to those around them. It's this independence that not only sets them apart, but makes them utterly captivating. Point 5. The calm in the chaos. Unnerving composure. Women notice when a man stays calm under pressure, and it's one of the most striking traits of the Sigma male. In situations where most people are panicking, overreacting, or losing their composure, the Sigma remains still, unshaken and unreadable. This calmness stands out, often creating an aura of mystery. It's not just that he's unbothered, but that he exudes a sense of control and inner strength. What makes this even more intriguing is the fact that this calmness is often perceived as hidden power. When everyone else is losing their heads, the Sigma isn't rushing to follow the crowd or get swept up in the chaos. Instead, he remains centered, as if he's seen this situation before, or at least is in complete command of it. It's like the calm before a storm. A man who knows when to act and when to wait. This level of self-assurance can be unsettling because it signals that the Sigma male is the one who chooses when to strike. He's not reacting to the moment, he's controlling it. While others might be frantically making decisions or scrambling for answers, the Sigma is over there sipping his coffee as though he's on a meditation retreat, unaffected by the tension. That ability to stay composed under pressure is one of the key factors that makes him irresistible and highly respected. Point 6. The rebel energy, defiance without saying a word. Sigma males are often seen as natural rule breakers, but not in an obvious attention-seeking way. They don't throw tantrums or make a spectacle of their defiance. Instead, they quietly choose not to comply with societal expectations or rigid norms. This subtle form of rebellion is what sets them apart from the crowd. What makes this behavior even more intriguing is that it's not loud or brash, it's controlled. And this calm defiance often leaves people, and especially women, feeling unsettled. When a Sigma male doesn't conform to the usual social expectations, it sends a powerful message. This man doesn't play by anyone's rules, not even mine. It's a quiet, yet potent statement of independence and strength. The reason this subtle rebellion can be so magnetic is simple. Danger is often irresistible. There's an undeniable allure to someone who doesn't conform, someone who operates on their own terms. It signals to others that the Sigma male is confident, self-reliant, and willing to stand out instead of fitting in. For Sigmas, this isn't about trying to provoke others or act out for attention. It's about embodying strength and self-assurance. Their quiet defiance isn't meant to disrupt, but to quietly assert that they are their own person, unshaken by societal expectations. They're not here to blend in, They're here to stand out. And that silent strength is what makes them so magnetic. Point 7. The enigmatic smile. Smirking at the world. You know the smile I'm talking about. It's not the big, toothy grin you see in pictures. It's not the polite, fake smile you flash when you're making small talk. No, this is the half smirk, the kind that makes you think the person knows something you don't and they're not about to share it. This smile is the perfect blend of confidence and mystery. It's cocky but not arrogant, like someone who's been through it all and doesn't need to prove anything. But at the same time, it's intriguing, pulling people in with a sense of quiet power. What makes it so captivating is that it conveys a sense of control and allure. This smile doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't have to. It says, I don't need to explain myself, but you'll be thinking about me all night. And that's exactly the point. Studies show that people are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence, yet aren't overtly flashy or attention-seeking. That half smirk embodies that perfectly. It invites curiosity, leaving others wanting more, like a riddle they can't quite solve. It's the kind of grin that sticks with you. In fact, that smirk has probably started more emotional avalanches than Cupid's arrow ever could. It's the perfect balance of charm, mystery, and just a hint of danger. Point 8. Speaking without speaking. Body language mastery. Sigmas have a unique way of communicating that doesn't rely on words, but rather on subtle body language. They don't need to speak to make a statement. For example, leaning back while others lean in gives off an air of control and confidence. It's not about trying to take up space, but doing so effortlessly, showing that they belong without demanding attention. Their movements are slow, deliberate, and calculated, creating a sense of mystery and self-assurance. Women, like many people, are incredibly perceptive to these silent signals. This kind of body language is primal, rooted in the subconscious. When a Sigma enters a room, they exude an invisible force that others can feel. It's unsettling because it taps into an instinctual recognition of power and dominance without uttering a single word. The power of Sigma's body language lies in its ability to convey control over a situation. They don't need smooth lines or flashy gestures. Their stillness and subtlety speak volumes, saying, I'm in charge of this moment, whether you realize it or not. Mastering this type of communication can be more impactful than any words. Sigmas, when you control your body, you control the room. Point 9, the shadow side. He's clearly been through things. Sigma males often carry a weight behind their eyes, a heaviness that speaks of pain, experience, and personal growth. This intensity is not just a product of mere emotion, it's the result of overcoming challenges and emerging stronger from life's storms. It's a subtle yet profound signal to those around them that this individual has faced battles that most can't even begin to fathom. Women in particular are instinctively drawn to this energy. It's not creepy, but it's undeniably magnetic. There's an underlying message that the man before them is not just surface level. He's someone who has endured, reflected, and emerged with wisdom. It's as if his very presence exudes depth, and depth is something most people crave in relationships. The scars of a Sigma male aren't signs of weakness, but rather badges of honor. They symbolize resilience and the invaluable lessons learned from hardship. These marks of life's trials represent the wisdom gained through experience. They serve as a testament to a journey that many may find inspiring and, most importantly, unforgettable. So to all the Sigmas out there, wear your scars with pride, for they are the markers of your legendary growth. Point 10, unapologetically himself. No filters, no masks. In a world where political correctness and superficial pleasantries dominate, the Sigma male's brutal authenticity can feel like a breath of fresh air or a sharp shock. Unlike the typical social scripts that prioritize politeness over truth, the Sigma male embraces a raw, unfiltered approach to life. This kind of honesty is rare, and when something is rare, it becomes inherently attractive. Women, in particular, are drawn to this level of realness. While it may be intimidating, it's also refreshing. In a society that often values appearances over substance, the Sigma male offers something different. A person who isn't afraid to show who they truly are. This authenticity is magnetic because it stands out in a sea of facades. The Sigma male's ability to be unapologetically himself often awakens a deep sense of respect and attraction in others. Of course, not everyone will appreciate this level of truth. It can be unsettling for those who prefer comfort over confrontation. But for those who are ready for something real, the Sigma male's brutal honesty is a spark that ignites connection. So Sigmas, don't dilute your authenticity. Even if it scares some, it will undoubtedly attract those who value the genuine you. Point 11. The unspoken challenge. Can she crack his code? The Sigma male is a unique enigma that many women find impossible to resist. He's not the type to wear his emotions on his sleeve or reveal his thoughts easily. Instead, he remains mysterious, leaving others intrigued and wanting more. Every interaction with him feels like a puzzle, an exciting challenge she feels compelled to solve. This sense of mystery is magnetic. The more she tries to figure him out, the deeper she falls. His unpredictability makes him seem even more fascinating, like a game she's determined to win. But here's the catch. The more she tries, the more elusive he becomes. Sigma males have mastered the art of staying one step ahead. They don't offer easy answers or predictable behavior, which only fuels the curiosity of those around them. It's this complexity that makes them the human version of a Rubik's Cube, one that won't be solved easily, if ever. Sigmas, what you see as normal about your life, the mystery, the calmness, the independence, is actually hauntingly magnetic to women. You're not creepy in a bad way, you're mysteriously powerful. Your vibe doesn't just attract attention, it demands it. You are the storm, the calm, the shadow, the riddle, all rolled into one unforgettable man. So stand tall, Sigmas. Embrace your silence, your stillness, your strength. The world will always fear what it doesn't understand. And women will always be drawn to what feels just out of reach. Sigmas, if you found yourself nodding along with this video, if you recognize these qualities within yourself, then you're exactly where you need to be. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. Join this powerful community of men who walk their own path, live on their own terms, and inspire the world by simply being authentically themselves. Apply these Sigma qualities to your life and watch how everything changes. Stay mysterious, stay powerful, stay Sigma. Until next time. When a Sigma male decides to marry, he doesn't suddenly become needy or overly expressive. Instead, his love shows up in powerful, understated ways. Chief among them is his quiet consistency. He doesn't flood his partner with constant "I love you" texts or dramatic romantic gestures. Instead, he shows up every day without fail. Studies in relationship psychology, including work by Dr. John Gottman, highlight that emotional trust and daily consistency are stronger predictors of long-term relationship success than sporadic displays of affection. Sigma males intuitively get this. Their emotional steadiness creates an environment of safety and reliability for their partner. What's fascinating is that Sigmas don't rely on external validation. They don't need a relationship. They choose it. That choice makes all the difference. It means every action, from making coffee in the morning to protecting their partner's dreams, is done with intention. And the moment a Sigma steps out of his solitude to share life with someone, it's like a mountain moving. He's inviting someone into a space he fiercely protects, his peace, his thoughts, his routines. He does this not out of obligation, but because he sees a partner as a true equal and ally, not a crutch. So when he says nothing but still shows up, it's because his silence is loaded with loyalty. His quiet strength tells her, "You're safe with me," without needing to say a word. This isn't passive love, it's deliberate, it's disciplined, and it's rare. Number one, he values her freedom as much as his own. Let's get one thing straight. A Sigma male doesn't believe in cages, not for himself and certainly not for his wife. In a society where many relationships mimic control rather than companionship, the Sigma male stands apart. He doesn't view love as possession. Instead, he sees it as partnership. His philosophy? A woman in full bloom isn't one kept in a glass case. She's one who's free to fly. Unlike alpha males, who may dominate, or beta males, who often appease, the Sigma male carves his own lane, independent, introspective, and self-reliant. This independence also colors how he loves. He doesn't feel threatened by a woman with ambitions, opinions, or passions of her own. In fact, he celebrates them. Research in modern relationships supports this mindset. Studies from the Gottman Institute show that mutual respect and autonomy are key indicators of long-term relationship satisfaction. When both partners are free to pursue personal growth, the relationship strengthens rather than frays. For the Sigma male, micromanaging is out of the question. He doesn't monitor texts, question every outing, or dictate her wardrobe, not because he's indifferent, but because he's secure. Trust is his foundation. He understands that a woman who's trusted feels valued, and a woman who feels valued gives her best in return. She's not a sidekick in his story. She's a co-leader in their shared journey. Her dreams are just as valid as his. Whether she's launching a business, going back to school, or chasing a lifelong passion, the Sigma male is her loudest silent supporter, cheering from the sidelines without trying to take over the game. It's this blend of emotional intelligence, quiet strength, and unwavering respect that makes the Sigma male a rare breed in modern love. And for the right woman, that's not just refreshing, it's revolutionary. Number 2, he's low maintenance but deeply present. Sigmas aren't needy, and that's not just a personality quirk, it's a defining trait. Unlike individuals who require constant emotional reassurance or external validation, Sigma males are self-contained. They don't chase approval because their worth isn't measured by how others perceive them. It's anchored in who they are. That's why, when they're with their wives, they bring something rare and refreshing to the table: genuine presence. In a world dominated by digital distractions and half-hearted conversations, the Sigma male stands out. He doesn't bring his phone to the dinner table, not because it's a rule, but because he chooses connection over convenience. Studies have shown that just having a phone visible during a conversation can reduce feelings of trust and empathy. The Sigma knows this intuitively. His partner isn't just another voice in the background, she's the main event. No fake smiles, no passive nodding, no ahas while scrolling. When a Sigma male listens, he does so with intent. He leans in, makes eye contact, and processes every word. This isn't about being dramatic, it's about respect. He listens like your words matter because to him they truly do. Neuroscience supports the power of active listening. It builds deeper emotional bonds and enhances trust, especially in romantic relationships. But here's the key: he doesn't do this to earn points. He does it because that's who he is. Independent yet emotionally intelligent, the Sigma male doesn't need constant interaction to feel secure. But when he commits to a conversation, he's all in. His strength lies not just in his silence, but in the depth of that silence, focused, intentional, and filled with care. So, while others might perform presence, the Sigma embodies it, not through grand gestures, but through the quiet, powerful act of truly showing up. And that's where his strength and his appeal lies. Number 3, he respects her intelligence, not just her beauty. While the world often conditions women to believe their worth lies in their appearance, the Sigma male challenges this narrative. He isn't impressed by perfectly contoured cheekbones or the latest fashion trend. What grabs his attention? A woman with curiosity in her eyes and fire in her mind. Sigma males operate outside traditional social hierarchies. They're lone wolves, introspective, independent, and driven by substance over surface. This means they see past societal illusions. A Sigma male isn't seduced by external glamour, he's drawn to intellectual depth, authenticity, and passion. When it comes to his partner, this mindset creates a powerful dynamic. Conversations aren't limited to small talk. They venture into rich terrain: philosophy, theology, politics, even quantum physics on a good day. And it's not about debate for ego's sake. It's about mutual growth. The Sigma male views his wife as an intellectual equal, a fellow explorer in the landscape of ideas. Research supports that deep conversations can strengthen romantic bonds. A study published in Psychological Science found that couples who engage in meaningful discussions report higher levels of connection and satisfaction. For Sigma males, this is instinctive. They're wired to go beyond the surface because that's where true intimacy lives. Now let's talk about support. If his partner is chasing a dream, whether it's starting a non-profit or launching a podcast, the Sigma male is all in. He doesn't see her goals as a threat or a distraction. Instead, he sees her passion as part of what makes her extraordinary. He'll champion her with the dedication of a campaign manager and the loyalty of a lifelong friend. This kind of support isn't just romantic, it's revolutionary. It subverts outdated gender roles and fosters a relationship built on partnership, not pedestal placement. In a world that tells women they're either beautiful or brilliant, the Sigma male quietly affirms, "You're both, and more." In essence, the Sigma male is a game changer. He values intellect over image, depth over dazzle, and connection over convention. And in doing so, he helps redefine what it means to love and to be loved in the 21st century. Number 4, he stands by her, even when the world doesn't. A Sigma male is often misunderstood, not because he lacks presence, but because his presence doesn't come with noise. He's a quiet storm, calm on the surface, yet powerful in motion. While many men may feel the need to assert dominance or declare loyalty with grand gestures, the Sigma male's strength is revealed in the moments that matter most. You won't see him seeking validation or performing affection for an audience. Instead, he operates with a quiet confidence that speaks louder than words. Psychologists describe Sigma males as introverted alphas, men who possess the leadership qualities of an alpha but choose to operate outside traditional hierarchies. They are self-reliant, thoughtful, and highly observant. These traits make them emotionally attuned to the needs of those they care about. When the world turns its back on the woman he loves, criticizing her, doubting her worth, or overlooking her strengths, the Sigma male doesn't respond with aggression or arguments. Instead, he becomes her shield. He doesn't waste energy proving others wrong. He stays grounded, offering stability and loyalty when it's most needed. Studies in interpersonal relationships suggest that emotional support during times of stress is more impactful than constant praise. This is where the Sigma male thrives. He knows when to speak and when silence is stronger. He understands the power of showing up, not showing off. This quiet defender doesn't need to fight every battle. His presence is the defense. When she doubts herself, he reminds her of her worth, not with empty flattery, but with actions that anchor her. He listens when she cries, protects when she's vulnerable, and stands beside her when the world feels against her. The Sigma male's loyalty is not performative. It's proven in the clutch moments. He may not shout above the noise, but he'll stand in front of it. He doesn't ask for recognition because he's not driven by ego. He's driven by values. And one of those values is loyalty in its purest, most powerful form, silent, steadfast, and unwavering. Number 5. He leads, but never controls. Leadership isn't about domination, it's about direction. And for a married Sigma male, leadership doesn't roar, it resonates with quiet strength, intentionality, and emotional intelligence. Sigma males are known for being lone wolves, independent thinkers who live by their own code. But when a Sigma chooses marriage, he doesn't abandon his nature. Instead, he adapts it. He leads not with a heavy hand, but with a clear vision. This means setting the tone for the relationship, defining shared goals, and consistently moving toward a purpose. But unlike traditional alpha archetypes, he doesn't need control to feel powerful. He knows real power is rooted in trust. In a Sigma marriage, decisions aren't top-down orders. They're round-table discussions. A Sigma male doesn't just allow his wife to speak. He seeks her wisdom. He values her perspective because he knows true partnership amplifies vision. Studies in relationship psychology support this. Couples who practice mutual decision-making report higher satisfaction and emotional closeness. When it comes to guidance, a Sigma male leads by example. He models consistency, discipline, and integrity, but he never demands obedience. He's not looking for a follower. He's building alongside a queen. This is a relationship of co-creation, not control. One of the most misunderstood concepts in relationships is submission. The Sigma male understands it isn't a one-way street. Ephesians 5:21 says, "Submit to one another out of reverence for Christ." Mutual submission is key. That means both partners respect, support, and sacrifice for each other. In practice, that looks like listening more than speaking, diffusing conflict instead of escalating it, and leading with humility rather than ego. And while he's confident in his direction, a Sigma male doesn't mistake volume for vision. He doesn't need to shout to be heard. His presence speaks louder than words. In essence, the married Sigma male embodies a modern model of leadership, assertive yet humble, strategic yet collaborative, autonomous yet emotionally connected. He doesn't rule, he empowers. And in doing so, he creates a relationship built not on fear, but on love, trust, and shared purpose. Number 6, he creates safe space for vulnerability. Sigma males are often seen as mysterious, emotionally detached, or stoic, but that's only half the story. Beneath that composed exterior lies a deep emotional reservoir, one that most people will never see. But when it comes to the woman he chooses to share his life with, the Sigma male undergoes a quiet transformation. The walls come down, the mask slips, and something remarkable happens. He becomes a sanctuary. Unlike alpha males who often assert dominance or beta males who seek approval, the sigma male thrives on independence and introspection. This self-awareness gives him an unusual depth when it comes to emotional connection, especially in romantic relationships. While he may not express feelings freely in public, within the safe bounds of a committed relationship, he becomes a deeply empathetic partner. Psychology backs this up. Studies show that emotionally intelligent men are more likely to form strong, supportive relationships, even if they don't show emotion in overt ways. For his wife or partner, the sigma male is a calm harbor. In a world that often demands performance and perfection, he offers a space where she can be vulnerable without fear of judgment. Whether it's tears, frustration, or uncertainty, he doesn't try to fix everything. He listens, he holds space, and he validates. That in itself is healing, but the beauty of this connection is that it's mutual. While he provides that emotional safety, he also begins to let his guard down. Not often, and not with just anyone. But when he opens up, when he shares his past, his wounds, his fears, it's genuine, unfiltered, and raw. It's a rare glimpse into a soul that's used to carrying its burdens silently. This dynamic creates a bond that's more than romantic, it's sacred. It's not built on flashy gestures or constant attention. It's built on mutual respect, trust, and emotional resonance. The sigma male doesn't just love with words, he loves with presence, with protection, and with a kind of quiet loyalty that runs deep. So while the world may never see the full emotional capacity of a sigma male, his wife knows. She knows because she's lived it, and that makes all the difference. Number 7, he keeps the mystery alive. Let's be honest. Most relationships lose their spark when they become predictable. Routines are comforting, but too much predictability can dull the excitement. That's where the sigma male stands apart. He thrives on growth, evolution, and mystery, not for the sake of playing games, but because it's who he is. Even in the structure of marriage, the sigma male remains captivatingly unpredictable. He's not unreliable, far from it. Instead, he brings a sense of spontaneity, curiosity, and depth that keeps his partner on her toes. Whether it's planning a weekend getaway out of the blue or dropping a philosophical insight that challenges her worldview, he keeps things fresh and stimulating. Psychologically speaking, novelty activates the brain's reward system. According to research in neuroscience, the brain releases dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter, when it encounters something new or surprising. This means that when a sigma keeps evolving and introducing unexpected joy or perspective, it deepens emotional bonds and maintains romantic attraction. He surprises her with his insight. He challenges her to keep growing. He doesn't just love her as she is, he loves her enough to inspire her toward who she can become. Why? Because he's doing the same for himself. He's the kind of man who's always leveling up, always seeking meaning, always refining his purpose. Being with a sigma is like reading a novel that constantly adds new chapters, twists, and themes. You never quite reach the end, and that's what makes it beautiful. His mind, like his heart, refuses to settle into stagnation. He doesn't live to impress, he lives to evolve, and that, more than anything, keeps love alive. Number 8, he doesn't compete, he complements. A married sigma male is secure in his identity and doesn't feel the need to outshine his partner. Instead of viewing his wife's strength as a challenge to his masculinity, he sees it as a complement to their partnership. This isn't just emotional maturity, it's a reflection of his independent mindset. Sigma males typically operate outside of traditional social hierarchies, which means they don't measure their worth through dominance or control. They value authenticity, not authority. Psychologists have noted that emotionally secure men are more likely to support their partner's achievements rather than feel threatened by them. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that men who felt secure in their relationship were more supportive of their partner's goals and experienced greater relationship satisfaction. For a sigma male, it's not a battle of egos, it's a union of strengths. When she wins, he wins. He'll be the one in the crowd cheering the loudest, not because he's trying to get credit, but because he genuinely believes in her. That's why with him it's never him versus her, it's them versus the world. A sigma male doesn't just marry a partner, he marries his equal, his teammate, his co-warrior. Sigmas, here's what it comes down to. When a sigma male marries, it's not because he's afraid of being alone. It's because he's found someone worth building a legacy with. His love isn't loud, but it's deep. It's not flashy, but it's intentional. He leads without dominating, he gives without draining, he grows without leaving her behind, and maybe most importantly, he loves without losing himself. That's not just marriage, that's mastery. Sigmas, if you found yourself nodding, reflecting, or even challenging your own standards, then this video was for you. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join our growing community of modern Sigma males who live with purpose, power, and presence. Let's keep elevating the standard, not just for relationships, but for how we show up in the world. Stay true and stay Sigma.
Sigmas, listen closely. She didn't just like you, she studied you, and then she spiraled. Ever wondered why the calmest guy in the room drives women absolutely insane with desire, only to leave them completely obsessed and confused when he walks away? Picture this. A woman meets a man unlike anyone she's ever known. He's not chasing her, he's not performing, he's not pretending, he's just existing. And somehow he's got her hooked deeper than anyone who's ever tried. That's the Sigma effect. It's not just charm, it's not just looks, it's power without noise. As Carl Jung once said, your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. Sigma males awaken something inside women, and that's what makes them unforgettable. Welcome to this video, Sigmas. Today we're diving deep into the psychology, mystery, and magnetic pull of the Sigma male, and why women simply can't get enough of him, until it becomes too much. Point 1. He doesn't seek validation, and that's irresistible. Let's face it, most men are wired to seek approval. They go out of their way to impress, showering women with compliments and trying to win attention through performance. It's predictable, and frankly, it lacks authenticity. But a Sigma, he's cut from a different cloth. When a Sigma walks into a room, he doesn't need to announce himself. His presence speaks louder than any performance ever could. This is known in psychology as a trait often linked with high self-esteem and emotional intelligence. People, especially women, are naturally drawn to it because it's rare, and scarcity creates value. Women subconsciously view this detachment as a challenge. According to the Inhuman Behavior, the mind is more stimulated by uncertainty than predictability. A man who doesn't chase triggers curiosity and sparks pursuit. This is where the Sigma flips the game. He doesn't move with the crowd, he moves with purpose. And because he's not desperate for attention, he becomes the very thing people can't ignore. That's the paradox. When you stop seeking approval, you start receiving respect. When you stop chasing the crowd starts chasing you. Point 2. He's a master of mystery. Most guys make the same mistake early on. They overshare. Within the first 15 minutes of conversation, they've already unloaded their childhood stories, future goals, weekend plans, and even their favorite pizza toppings. It's not that vulnerability is bad, it's that mystery is magnetic. A Sigma male understands this instinctively. He's not a closed book, he's an unread one. Every conversation, every glance, every silence feels like turning a page. And with each page she finds more than just surface-level fluff. She uncovers depth, substance, purpose. It's not about hiding who he is, it's about revealing layers slowly, deliberately, and authentically. Psychologically, this taps into what's known as the space between what someone knows and what they want to know. The human brain craves closure, and when it doesn't get it, it keeps coming back for more. A Sigma leverages this without manipulation. He simply lives with intention, always growing, always leveling up. Here's the twist. She never finishes the book, because a Sigma is a work in progress, constantly evolving, redefining his goals, refining his mindset. While most men seek to impress a woman, a Sigma seeks to. That self-focused growth is irresistible because it's real, and it creates an ongoing sense of discovery. It's like dating Batman. No, not the flashy superhero version. Think the disciplined, mission-driven man who operates in silence and shadows with a code of his own. Mysterious, powerful, and unapologetically independent. Cape optional. Point 3. He operates outside the system. He's not an alpha trying to lead, barking orders and craving dominance. He's not a beta trying to follow, constantly seeking approval and blending in. He's something entirely different. He's off-grid, off-code, and unapologetically in his own lane. That's what makes him a Sigma. And that kind of independence? It radiates a quiet, undeniable power that draws people in without a word. Psychologically, this falls in line with the concept of the idea that people desire what they feel they can't control or predict. When a man doesn't follow social expectations, it triggers fascination. Women are especially attuned to behavioral cues, and when a man rewrites the rule book, when he doesn't react the way others do, it leaves them intrigued and magnetized. Most men play a role. They follow a script, impress her, flatter her, agree with her. But a Sigma male outside that script, he's not playing to win her over. He's simply being himself, grounded, purposeful, and immune to social pressure. This unpredictability disrupts the usual dynamic. She can't categorize him, can't figure him out. And in trying to understand him, she becomes more and more invested. That's the seductive power of authenticity. Point 4, he listens, but he's not available. Here's the paradox that defines a Sigma male. He's present, yet unavailable. He listens intently, showing genuine interest, but reveals very little about himself. He connects deeply in the moment, but then disappears without warning. This emotional push-pull taps directly into the psychology of a concept from behavioral science that explains why people become addicted to unpredictable rewards. When someone doesn't know what to expect, when attention comes in bursts, followed by silence, the brain becomes hooked. It's the same principle behind gambling or scrolling social media. The unpredictability keeps you coming back for more. A Sigma male embodies this dynamic. He's emotionally intelligent enough to engage meaningfully, but independent enough to retreat into solitude without explanation. This leaves her thinking, replaying, analyzing, wondering what she missed and craving the next interaction. It's like emotional sushi, raw, refined, and addictive. The experience is so unique that it can't be duplicated or forgotten. Most men offer full disclosure up front, but a Sigma offers just enough to spark intrigue, never enough to satisfy it completely. And in that emotional tension, attraction grows into fascination. Point 5. He values peace over drama. The Sigma doesn't entertain chaos. While others get pulled into drama, emotional games, or reactive behavior, you move with the calm precision of a monk, wired in but never wired out. Your mind is still, your energy centered. In a noisy world, that kind of serenity is rare, and it stands out like a lighthouse in a storm. Women often expect emotional turbulence in relationships because that's what they've experienced. Highs, lows, jealousy, confusion. But the Sigma offers something radically different. Inner peace. And that peace doesn't just comfort her, it exposes her own inner noise. This is backed by psychological studies showing that calm behavior often disarms emotional escalation. When one person maintains emotional neutrality, it can either inspire growth or reveal incompatibility. That's why, around a Sigma, a woman is forced to confront herself. She either evolves to match your calm energy or she walks away, and that's okay. Because a Sigma never compromises his peace for anyone else's chaos. That centered stillness is your superpower. Your silence carries meaning. Your presence commands respect, and your refusal to be pulled into nonsense is exactly what sets you apart. Calm is your language, and it speaks volumes. Point 6. He never loses himself in love. In relationships, many men lose themselves. They adjust, bend, and mold themselves to fit their partner's expectations, often sacrificing their own identity in the process. This isn't a sign of love, it's a sign of insecurity. But a Sigma operates differently. A Sigma doesn't disappear into a relationship. He remains anchored in who he is. He doesn't chase approval or conform to someone else's vision. Instead, he builds his own life, a world that is uniquely his, one that he is fully committed to. And if a woman wants to be a part of it, she's invited, not because he needs her, but because he values the partnership. This approach is rooted in a powerful psychological trait that many people find irresistible. When a Sigma stays true to himself and his vision, he creates a sense of independence that is both alluring and intimidating. Women are naturally attracted to men who have their own path, as it signals strength, self-respect, and the ability to offer a partnership rather than dependency. However, when a woman realizes she can't control him, something powerful happens. She may start to lose control of her own emotions. The very thing that makes him attractive, his independence, becomes the very thing that drives her to seek more. And in that power struggle, the Sigma always remains unmoved, refusing to shrink or adapt to fit someone else's expectations. He understands that growth happens when you stop shrinking to fit places you've outgrown. Point 7. He is purpose-driven, not attention-driven. For a Sigma, his mission is not just a task, it's the very essence of who he is. Whether he's building a business, pursuing a creative project, or simply seeking clarity through meditation in solitude, his purpose is his lifeblood. This is rooted in, which suggests that fulfilling one's potential is the highest form of personal growth. A Sigma doesn't just live for the moment, he's driven by a greater vision, a mission that transcends daily distractions. When a man is deeply aligned with his purpose, he breathes a unique form of power, one that radiates confidence, direction, and unwavering determination. Research shows that people with a clear sense of purpose experience higher levels of mental well-being, focus, and motivation. For a Sigma, this clarity becomes his greatest asset. Women may try to compete for his attention, seeking to become the center of his world. But here's the truth. A Sigma's purpose can never be overshadowed. And when a woman realizes this, she understands that she can't compete with the destiny he's carving out. For a Sigma, the lesson is clear. Marry your mission, and everything else will follow. When you put your purpose first, you attract people who are drawn to your vision. This isn't about rejecting love or relationships, but about ensuring that your mission is always non-negotiable. And in that pursuit, everything else, respect, success, and even love, falls into place. Point 5. He gives freedom, not possession. A Sigma male understands a powerful truth. True attraction isn't about ownership. While many men feel the need to claim a woman's time, energy, and emotions, a Sigma gives her the space to be herself. He doesn't smother her with constant attention or try to control her actions. Instead, he provides freedom. Freedom to grow, to pursue her own passions, and to live independently. This concept taps into the psychological principle of, which suggests that people naturally resist being controlled. When someone feels like they are being owned or restricted, they develop a desire to break free. But paradoxically, when you give someone the freedom to choose, they often feel more drawn to you. Without emotional chains or a leash, they begin to appreciate the absence of pressure. It's like owning a cat. You give it the freedom to roam, and at first it might wander off. But just as quickly, it returns, not because it was forced to, but because it too. The Sigma male's ability to let go creates a sense of mystery, and that freedom often makes the other person want to stay. Ironically, the less you chase, the more they chase you. Point 6. He's built different, and he knows it. A Sigma male doesn't need to flaunt his uniqueness or scream about his worth. His quiet confidence speaks volumes. He doesn't feel the need to prove he's different, deep down he knows that he's not cut from the same cloth as others, and that self-awareness is what sets him apart. This inner strength doesn't need to be broadcasted. It's felt by everyone around him. Unlike those who seek love to feel complete, a Sigma seeks personal growth and fulfillment first. Love, when it comes, is invited into his life as an addition to the journey, not the destination. He understands that his path is one of self-discovery and evolution, and if someone else wants to join, they must accept that they're part of a bigger picture. This level of self-awareness makes him unpredictable. People are naturally drawn to what they can't figure out, and a Sigma male is an enigma in a world that craves certainty. This unpredictability breeds fascination and even obsession. Sigmas never apologize for being hard to define. Legends are never simple, and your ability to stay true to yourself, to follow your own path, is what makes you extraordinary. You're not here to fit in, you're here to redefine what it means to be. Point 7. When he leaves a void. When a Sigma exits a woman's life, it's not just the end of a chapter, it's the beginning of an echo. The silence that follows his departure is more than just a void. It's a reflection of his presence. A Sigma isn't just a fleeting moment, he acts as a mirror, showing her her best, her worst, and her deepest truths. He doesn't need to stay or offer closure because his impact doesn't require an explanation. It's felt long after he's gone. This phenomenon is rooted in and. When a Sigma leaves, he leaves behind a sense of introspection. He doesn't chase or demand validation. Instead, he holds a mirror to her psyche, forcing her to confront parts of herself she may have overlooked. And when he walks away without needing closure, it triggers something deeply unsettling in her, a feeling of unresolved potential. What's truly captivating is that a Sigma doesn't take anything with him. He doesn't need to. Instead, he leaves behind a glimpse of something she can never quite recreate. That mystery, that profound understanding, is what keeps her coming back in her mind. Sigmas, be the kind of man whose absence lingers, one whose legacy is defined by the subtle yet powerful marks left on the hearts and minds of those he encounters. Sigmas, let this be your truth. You don't need to chase, you don't need to prove, you don't need to perform. Your power lies in your presence, your silence, your mission, your self-respect, and the more you embody that, the more the world will try to decode you. But you're not here to be decoded. You're here to be remembered. If this message hit home, if you saw yourself in these words, then you, my friend, are already walking the Sigma path. So go ahead, subscribe, like, and become part of this community of high-value men who live differently, think deeper, and act with purpose. Apply these Sigma traits in your life, not to impress others, but to become who you were always meant to be. Having said this,
why do Sigma males disappear from the dating scene like Batman from a rooftop? Why do the most self-aware, confident, and mysterious men, the Sigma, stay single way longer than the average guy? Picture this. A guy walks into a room, doesn't say a word, yet commands attention. He's not flexing muscles or throwing around his paycheck. No, he's the one sitting in the corner, sipping coffee, watching everything and saying nothing. That's your Sigma male. And while the world's busy chasing status, validation, and relationships that often feel more like transactions, he's building empires in silence. The world labels him aloof today. Sigmas, we're diving deep into the real reason you stay single longer than other men and why that's not a curse, but a secret superpower. In the words of Carl Jung, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are, and sometimes that path means walking alone until the world finally catches up. So grab your solitude like a sword. Sigmas, let's get into it. Season 1. They're not emotionally dependent. Sigmas are self-contained. They don't enter relationships to feel complete, they already are. This stands in stark contrast to how most people approach love. Many seek partners to fill emotional voids, to heal wounds, or to give them a sense of purpose. That mindset turns relationships into emotional crutches, where dependence replaces genuine connection. Psychologist Carl Jung described the concept of individuation, the process of becoming whole within oneself. Sigmas embody this idea. They've done the inner work. They understand their value. So when a Sigma enters a relationship, it's not out of need, but out of desire. It's a conscious choice, not a desperate escape from loneliness. This level of emotional independence can be unsettling. It removes the typical power plays, the push and pull games, the codependent drama. A Sigma doesn't need someone to validate him, fix him, or define him. And because of that, he can offer something rare, a relationship built on mutual respect, not emotional dependency for many. That's intimidating. They're used to being needed, not simply wanted. But for the Sigma, love isn't about filling gaps. It's about sharing completeness. And that's what makes him truly powerful. Reason 2. They're obsessed with purpose over romance. You won't catch a Sigma male staying up all night writing love poems unless those verses somehow align with his vision, mission, or next big idea. That's because a Sigma's top relationship isn't with a person, it's with his purpose. His mission fuels him. His goals keep him awake at night. And everything else, including love, revolves around that core drive. This isn't about being cold or emotionless. It's about prioritization. According to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, self-actualization, the drive to reach one's full potential is the highest form of human motivation. For Sigmas, that's where their energy goes. While most men are busy chasing temporary validation through relationships, the Sigma is focused on legacy, on mastering his craft, on building something that lasts. Love isn't off the table, it's just not the main course. A Sigma doesn't date to pass time or escape boredom. He only welcomes someone into his life if she complements his grind, not complicates it. That kind of focus weeds out the superficial and attracts only those who truly understand the depth of his journey. It takes a rare kind of woman to walk beside a Sigma, not in front of him, not behind him, but with him. Reason 3. They can't stand small talk and surface-level vibes. Sigmas are not your average small talkers. They're not interested in surface-level chatter about the weather or celebrity gossip. What truly captures their attention are deep, thought-provoking conversations that explore the mysteries of life, questions about purpose, existence, mortality, and the human condition. This craving for depth aligns with the psychological trait known as high openness to experience, which includes intellectual curiosity and a deep interest in abstract concepts. Sigmas often fall into this category. They're reflective thinkers, drawn to discussions that challenge their minds and expand their worldview. Because of this, meaningless conversations feel draining to them. They won't invest energy into relationships that don't engage their soul. This naturally narrows their social circle, but that's the point. Sigmas prioritize quality over quantity. So if someone wants to truly connect with a Sigma, they'll need more than charm and small talk. They'll need to show emotional intelligence, authenticity, and a willingness to dive into life's deeper questions. And when that happens, the Sigma opens up, not just with words, but with presence. Because for them, a real connection doesn't start at the surface, it begins in the depths. Reason 4. They see through the mask. Here's the thing, Sigmas are like psychological ninjas. They don't just see what's on the surface, they read between the lines. This ability comes from intense self-awareness and experience. They've done the inner work, faced their insecurities, unpacked emotional baggage, and stared down their own shadows. As a result, their emotional intelligence is razor-sharp. Studies in psychology show that people who engage in deep self-reflection develop stronger intuition and higher social perception. This means Sigmas are wired to detect red flags, manipulation tactics, and toxic behaviors, while others might fall for charming lies or emotional games. A Sigma sees through the act almost immediately. And the best part, they don't waste time confronting or trying to fix fake behavior. They simply walk away. No drama, no explanation. That level of emotional detachment and discernment is rare and honestly intimidating. It makes manipulators uncomfortable and keeps energy vampires at bay. A Sigma's strength lies in his ability to stay grounded in truth, even when deception tries to sneak in. It's not magic, it's mastery. And that's why they can't be played. They've already outplayed their own demons. Reason 5. They don't fear loneliness, they master it. Most people enter relationships out of fear of loneliness, of missing out, of not measuring up. But Sigma males are cut from a different cloth. Solitude isn't something they avoid. It's something they crave. Psychologists refer to this as positive solitude, the ability to enjoy one's own company and use that time productively. For Sigmas, being alone isn't a punishment, it's a power-up. It's their dojo where discipline is forged, their creative lab where ideas are born, and their sanctuary for mental clarity. Studies have shown that people who embrace solitude often display higher levels of creativity, self-awareness, and emotional intelligence. Sigmas use this alone time to rewire their thinking, set long-term goals, and master new skills. They're constantly evolving, not to impress anyone else, but to become the best version of themselves, rather than settling into a relationship that feels like a comfort zone. Sigmas would rather walk alone toward their next level. They understand a universal truth. Growth doesn't happen in the crowd, it happens in the quiet. While others chase connection to avoid their thoughts, a Sigma sits with them, conquers them, and rises. Alone, yes, but never lonely. Reason 6. They're selective to the point of legendary standards. Sigmas don't settle, period. While many men lower their standards just to avoid being alone, Sigmas take the opposite approach. They understand that short-term companionship isn't worth long-term dissatisfaction. Instead of chasing temporary comfort, they focus on raising their personal frequency mentally, emotionally, and spiritually until they naturally attract the right energy. This concept aligns with the law of vibration. It's a principle in quantum physics and psychology that suggests everything emits energy. When you operate at a high frequency through self-respect, purpose, and clarity, you align with people who match that same level of energy. But here's the catch. That kind of alignment doesn't happen overnight. That's why many Sigmas walk a solo path longer than others. It's not because they can't attract attention. It's because they refuse to compromise for it. They know that temporary affection built on shallow compatibility isn't worth sacrificing inner peace or personal values. While society often pushes the idea that being in a relationship equals success, Sigmas flip the script. They prioritize quality over company. And yes, it might mean spending more time alone, but when the right connection finally appears, it's powerful, purposeful, and aligned on every level. Reason 7. They refuse to play the modern dating games. Swipe culture, ghosting, breadcrumbing, love bombing. Modern dating has turned into a maze of mind games, mixed signals, and emotional manipulation. But Sigmas, they're wired differently. While most people are caught up trying to win in this dating circuit, a Sigma isn't even playing. He's not interested in chasing attention or decoding performative interest. He's focused on authenticity. Psychologists have labeled this phenomenon emotional minimalism, a growing mindset where individuals, especially those with high emotional intelligence, detach from superficial drama and prioritize genuine connection. Sigmas embody this. If a woman's behavior feels calculated, inauthentic, or rooted in ego, he'll quietly exit, not out of bitterness, but because his peace is more valuable than empty flirtation. This doesn't mean he's anti-relationship. He values love, but only the real kind. He seeks a partner who matches his emotional depth, not someone playing tug-of-war with attention. In a culture that often rewards noise and manipulation, the Sigma's calm detachment stands out. He doesn't ghost. He vanishes with purpose. He doesn't breadcrumb. He walks a clear, steady path, and he doesn't love bomb. He connects slowly, with intention. That's not anti-love. That's refusing the B's and choosing clarity over reason 8. They know that partnership is about complement, not completion. When a Sigma chooses to be with someone, it's not because they need someone to complete them. They are already whole. A Sigma seeks a partner to co-create, to build something meaningful together. The Sigma understands that true connection comes from collaboration, not dependence. This mindset is rooted in self-sufficiency and emotional maturity. Unlike many people who enter relationships seeking validation or rescue, Sigmas are already self-fulfilled and looking for someone who can match their energy and drive. They don't need a cheerleader, someone to constantly support them or validate their worth. Instead, they seek a partner who is independent, confident, and driven in her own right, someone who brings her own passion and fire to the relationship. This approach may narrow the dating pool, but it raises the standard of connection. A Sigma isn't interested in superficial interactions or casual dating. They want someone who can meet them at their level. This ultimately leads to a more elevated form of love, one built on mutual respect, intellectual stimulation, and shared ambition. It's not about filling a gap. It's about creating something powerful together. And this is what attracts the kind of deep, lasting love that many people spend years searching for. Reason 9. They've been burned before, but they rose stronger. Let's face it, many Sigmas carry emotional scars, but these scars don't define them as weak. They're the result of loving deeply and getting burned in ways that many can't comprehend. It's a painful reality that many who live in the spotlight of vulnerability face, and Sigmas are no exception. However, unlike others who may crumble under the weight of past hurt, Sigmas are forged by it. Psychologically, this is rooted in post-traumatic growth, where adversity leads to greater strength. The pain Sigmas experience doesn't break them. It molds them into individuals who understand the complexities of human connection and emotion. This experience makes them more cautious and discerning when it comes to relationships, because they've seen firsthand how vulnerability can lead to pain. Sigmas don't shy away from love. They simply approach it with a level of emotional intelligence that others might lack. They understand that love is a powerful force, but it's also something that requires careful navigation. Every step is calculated. Every risk is assessed. This level of introspection and cautiousness comes from their experiences, not from fear, but from a desire to protect their peace while still remaining open to meaningful connections. Reason 10. They prioritize inner peace over external validation. Sigmas don't rely on external validation like compliments or public displays of affection to feel good about themselves, unlike many who seek constant approval to reinforce their self-worth. A Sigma's confidence is rooted in internal peace. This self-sufficiency is what makes them unique. They don't need others to define their value because they've already done that for themselves. Psychological research into self-determination theory explains that individuals who are intrinsically motivated, like Sigmas, are less dependent on external rewards or recognition. Their sense of self-worth comes from within, allowing them to make decisions based on personal values rather than societal expectations. This is why Sigmas aren't swayed by the pressures of conforming to relationship norms. On the kicker, Sigmas will protect that inner peace above all else. They understand that their emotional balance is sacred and will guard it fiercely even if it means staying single longer than others. Studies on emotional intelligence show that people with high emotional regulation prioritize their mental and emotional health, making conscious choices to maintain peace. This ability to stay grounded, regardless of external circumstances, is what makes Sigma so attractive. They've mastered the art of self-respect, and in a world of constant noise, that kind of tranquility is rare and magnetic. Understand this. Your solitude isn't emptiness, it's preparation. You're not behind, you're ahead, carving paths most people are too distracted to even notice. You're not lonely, you're focused, you're unmatched. Don't let a world obsessed with quick romance and temporary validation make you question your worth. Your path is different by design. Every empire was built in silence before the world took notice. Keep building. Here's what a Sigma dating profile would sound like if he even bothered to make one. Enjoys long silences. Deep conversations about alternate realities. Builds businesses for fun. Allergic to clinginess. Turned off by manipulation. Fluent in sarcasm. Seeks woman who respects personal space and isn't afraid of the void. Yeah, good luck finding that on Tinder. Here's the truth. Sigmas, you're single longer because you're not afraid of the wait. You know your value. You understand that quality takes time. That love isn't something you stumble into. It's something you attract when your soul's ready. And when that moment comes, when you find that rare woman who speaks your language, matches your pace, and respects your path, it won't be some random hookup. It'll be destiny meeting discipline. Until then, stay grounded, stay focused, stay legendary. Sigmas, if this resonated with you, hit that like button. Subscribe and become part of this unstoppable community. Let's continue mastering our solitude, building empires and showing the world that the silent ones often roar the loudest. Having said this, Sigmas, have you ever noticed how some guys act like completely different people when they're around women? They put on a show, exaggerate their stories, and sometimes even lose their identity just to impress. But a Sigma? Nah, we don't play that game. What if I told you that the very things Sigma males don't do around women are exactly what make them so mysterious and attractive? Picture a room full of guys competing for a woman's attention, loud laughs, exaggerated confidence, flashy displays. And then there's the Sigma male. Silent, composed, observing. He isn't playing the game because he is the game. A Sigma male's strength doesn't come from chasing or seeking approval. It comes from being unapologetically himself. In today's video, we're breaking down exactly what Sigma males don't do when they're with women, and why this makes them stand out. From avoiding emotional neediness to rejecting social validation, these are the habits that set them apart. As Carl Jung once said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And Sigmas, they embody this every single day. Let's get into it. Number 1. They don't seek validation. Most men seek validation from women to boost their confidence. Compliments, reassurance, and a sense of being wanted fuel their self-worth. This behavior stems from an innate human desire for acceptance. Social approval triggers dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical. However, Sigma males operate differently. Their confidence isn't built on external praise, but on self-mastery, competence, and a strong sense of identity. They don't need others to tell them they're valuable. This mindset is powerful. When someone doesn't seek validation, it disrupts the usual social dynamic. People become intrigued, even unsettled. Women, in particular, may wonder, why isn't he seeking my approval? This curiosity creates a magnetic pull. It's simple psychology. What is scarce becomes valuable. Unlike men who chase compliments, Sigma males stand apart, effortlessly drawing people toward them. By being their own hypermen, Sigmas flip the script. Instead of chasing validation, they become the validation. This unshakable self-assurance makes them appear more attractive, mysterious, and, most importantly, untouchable by social pressures. And that, more than any compliment. Number 2. They don't overcompensate. Ever noticed how some guys feel the need to flaunt their wealth, status, or connections? They talk about their luxury car, their high-paying job, or the VIPs they know, almost as if they're trying to convince the world and themselves of their worth. This is classic overcompensation, a psychological phenomenon where people exaggerate certain traits to mask insecurities. Sigmas, on the other hand, operate on an entirely different frequency. They don't flex. They don't have to. Their confidence isn't built on external validation, but on self-assurance and competence. When a Sigma walks into a room, people feel their presence, not because they're loud or boastful, but because they exude quiet strength, independence, and research in psychology suggests that true confidence is often silent. People who are genuinely competent don't need to broadcast it. Their actions, demeanor, and achievements speak for themselves. This is why Sigmas naturally command respect without trying. I don't need to prove anything. You'll figure it out on your own. And the best part? They know that real power isn't in talking about it. It's in living it. Number 3. They don't put women on a pedestal. Sigma males have a unique approach to relationships, one that is rooted in mutual respect rather than blind adoration. While many men are conditioned to place women on a pedestal, showering them with constant praise and validation, Sigmas take a different route. They see women as equals, not as superior beings to be impressed or worshipped. This mindset is not about arrogance or indifference. Rather, it's about authenticity. Psychologists suggest that excessive idolization in relationships can create an unhealthy dynamic, leading to unrealistic expectations and imbalanced power structures. Sigmas avoid this trap by maintaining self-respect and setting clear boundaries. They understand that true connection comes from mutual appreciation, not from one person constantly trying to prove their worth. This approach also makes Sigmas naturally attractive by treating women as equals rather than as deities. They foster real, grounded interactions. Women, in turn, appreciate this genuine confidence. It sets them apart from the crowd. Studies in attraction psychology confirm that people are more drawn to those who are self-assured and don't seek external validation. In the end, the Sigma male's balanced perspective allows for deeper, more meaningful relationships. Ones built on respect, honesty, and real connection, rather than performance or pedestal placing. Number 4. They don't change who they are to impress. A Sigma male's authenticity is his greatest strength. Unlike many men who might adjust their personalities to impress a woman, a Sigma remains steadfast in who he is. He won't fake a laugh at an unfunny joke just to win favor, nor will he suddenly claim to love yoga or art just because she does. His interests, values, and beliefs are not up for negotiation, and that unwavering confidence is what sets him. Psychologically, authenticity signals self-assurance, which is one of the most attractive traits a man can possess. Studies suggest that people are naturally drawn to those who are genuine because it fosters trust and emotional security. When a Sigma male expresses himself without fear of rejection, It sends a powerful message. He is complete on his own. This attitude creates an air of mystery and challenge. Many women are used to men who go out of their way to please them, but a Sigma's indifference to external validation makes him stand out. He doesn't need approval, and paradoxically, that makes him even more desirable. Women are intrigued by the man who doesn't chase. And for a Sigma, it's not a strategy. It's simply who he is. Number 5. They don't chase. They attract. Chasing signals desperation, and Sigma males know this better than anyone. Desperation lowers your value because it signals a lack of self-sufficiency and confidence, two qualities that repel rather than attract. Instead of playing the exhausting pursuit game, Sigma males embrace a mindset of abundance. They understand that when you are truly content and whole, people naturally gravitate toward you. Psychologically, this is linked to the concept of a scarcity versus abundance mindset. People are drawn to those who don't seek validation but instead exude self-assurance and purpose. Sigma males focus on self-improvement, goals, and personal fulfillment, making them naturally attractive without effort. Studies in social psychology confirm that people value what appears rare and hard to attain, which is why Sigma males' indifference can be so magnetic. Think about it. Who's more intriguing, the person constantly chasing or the one who seems complete on their own? The latter commands respect and interest. That's why Sigma males let attraction happen organically, understanding that confidence and independence are far more powerful than chasing. By investing in their own growth, they become the prize, effortlessly drawing others in without ever needing to seek approval. Number 6. They don't get emotionally manipulated. Some women use emotional tactics to control the situation. Silent treatment to make a man chase, guilt trips to make him feel responsible, and playing hard to get to boost their own value. These strategies work on most men but not Sigma males. Sigma males are independent thinkers with a strong sense of self-worth. When a woman gives them the silent treatment, they don't panic or beg for attention. Instead, they take it as a sign of immaturity and move on with their lives. Guilt trips, a Sigma sees right through them. He knows when someone is trying to manipulate his emotions rather than communicate honestly, playing hard to get. Sigmas don't play games. They value authenticity. If a woman is genuinely interested, she won't need tricks to get his attention. Psychologists suggest that manipulation thrives on emotional dependency, but Sigma males are emotionally self-sufficient. They don't need validation, making them immune to these tactics. If a woman tries to manipulate them, they'll either address it directly or walk away without a second thought. Sigmas respect honesty and real connection. Anything less is a waste of their time. Number 7. They don't overshare. A Sigma male is like a well-written novel. You get glimpses of the plot, but the full story remains a mystery. Unlike social butterflies who readily share their life stories with strangers, a Sigma values privacy and control over his personal narrative. He understands that trust is earned, not given freely, and revealing too much too soon can make him vulnerable to manipulation or judgment. Psychologically, mystery creates intrigue. Studies on human attraction suggest that people are drawn to those who are unpredictable because it activates curiosity and emotional investment. A Sigma leverages this by sharing just enough to keep conversations engaging, but never enough to become fully transparent. This makes interactions with him feel more like peeling back layers rather than flipping through an open book. This doesn't mean he's antisocial or secretive for no reason. Rather, he strategically decides what to share and with whom. By keeping a sense of mystery, he maintains the upper hand in social dynamics and avoids being easily categorized or manipulated. People may think they know him, but in reality, they only know what he allows them to see. This enigmatic nature is what makes him so intriguing and unforgettable. Number 8. They don't apologize for their standards. Sigma males operate with a clear sense of purpose and self-respect. Unlike men who compromise their values for companionship, Sigmas know exactly what they stand for and refuse to settle for anything less. This isn't about arrogance. It's about integrity. They have spent years cultivating their independence, mastering their emotions, and setting personal standards. When a woman doesn't align with their vision or tries to manipulate them into conforming, they don't waste time debating. They simply walk away. This decisiveness stems from their ability to detach emotionally when necessary. Studies on self-respect and personal boundaries suggest that individuals who prioritize their values experience higher levels of life satisfaction. Sigmas embody this by making rational rather than emotionally driven decisions in relationships. If a woman is controlling, disloyal, or doesn't support his goals, a Sigma won't hesitate to remove himself from the equation. This trait is why Sigmas are so attractive. They don't chase, they attract. Their unshakable confidence and unwillingness to compromise make them rare in a world where many people settle for less than they deserve. By staying true to themselves, they ensure that any relationship they enter